What's going on, YouTube? It's me, the BBK. Give me a second. I just got a tag. For me. Okay, what's going on, everybody? Hey, man, I know it's been a weekend, right? It's been a weekend. I have been putting it down in the kitchen on the grill. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I just wanted to check in with you guys doing a little bit of laundry. About to get ready to do some hair. And wanted to check in and see how everything was going. Boss King Anthony just sent me something about self-cloning marble crayfish. I just saw them genetically modifying salmon. Um, I have seen videos where they talk about certain foods that are banned in other countries because of the ingredients in them. And sometimes it makes me wonder, does that have anything to do with a lot of the additional lifespan that people in other countries have? We got people in other countries that live to be 100, 112, and it makes me wonder, is it the food, the diet that's playing a part in that? Because we definitely know what our diet gives, or at least some of us know. Quite a few of us don't know. What's going on, Boss King? What's up, baby? I was just telling them you sent me that video about self-cloning marble crayfish. I tell you, I put something on my, let me go look and see what it is. I had put some stuff on my wall that I wanted to get into. Yeah, it was the story about the salmon was companies were raising salmon on land face pushback over sustainability and genetic engineering. Mm-hmm. I also read about or watched a video on shorts, a road being built from Mexico to Canada that's 10 lanes long, 10 lanes wide, from Mexico to Canada. Hmm. Right, like BPA plastic is used in the USA and can't. Yes, the people were actually taking some of the boxes and the packaging and the canned goods and was explaining the ingredients that was in them. Like this one man went in a grocery store and you had a whole chicken in a green bag and you had whole chicken in a yellow bag, right? And the price was, a little bit different because of the different manufacturers. But then he turned the chicken over to show you the ingredients. And one of the chickens said it had carmageenan or something like that, and salt and some other item. But the chicken in the yellow bag had chicken. And she was saying that they're pumping the chicken, which we know they're pumping chickens and other foods to make them bigger, shrimp, chicken, they're piecing meat together from, cows and bulls, and you may think you're getting you a premium cut of meat when it's really they done took some scraps and glued them together and sold them as premium meat. So, if you don't really know, your steaks, then it may be something that you may not be aware of. But we've seen the videos that show the marbling of the glue and all of that, and gives you some idea on how you can tell. But listen, it was this one reel. Let me see if I can pull it up. It was about, no, that's not it. That's not it. Hang on. I know somewhere else I could go to see what it was. Here it is. So it was about, hang on. I know about the same. Exactly, Boss King. What people don't know. And they keep, of course, they keep the little people down, so it make it harder for people to find out. But the way they doing the food, you guys, is crazy. You really have to be in tune in what you're buying when you go to the grocery stores. But let's shift gears. Let's change lanes for a quick second. So there was this Bernard Riley is a content creator. Shout out to Bernard Riley. He did a short, and it was about this black man. I'm gonna call him a TikToker because I think that's where he originally put his information, on TikTok or Facebook. And he shared a picture of this woman that he had been engaged with. Now, he had been engaged with this woman online in a virtual setting, and then they actually met up and they hooked up, right? And on her pictures, she was, oh my God, like big booty Judy type, you know what I'm saying, looks. And, they had an entanglement for a brief moment. Come to find out, after the fact, now he done had a whole situation with her, a whole entanglement, and didn't know that she was trans. Later on, he ends up getting exposed for sleeping with her. And the question that Bernard Riley, the content creator, is asking is, should she be charged with CAPE? Now, we can't say the word. It starts with the letter R and it rhymes with CAPE. Should she be charged with CAPE? And the reason he was asking that question was because he said consent was not given to a man. Because she's trans, right? She's a trans woman, which means she was born biologically a male, but lives her life as a female. She done went and got her some titties, she done got her some booty, or she done rearranged and replaced some fat or whatever cells and put it in her butt, in her thighs, small waist, cute in the face with her makeup on. He thought she was a whole woman, and he ended up getting exposed. He had relations with this woman and did not even know she was trans, which tells me that she gave him some head, right? And that she potentially tooted and booted. So he might have hit it from the back. I don't know. We don't have the details on it. But now he's upset because he finds out that she's a trans woman. And they said, he didn't consent to having sex with the man. So now, because he didn't know she was a man or a trans woman, now he's got a problem. And they're asking, should he have her prosecuted and charged with CAPE? Now, listen, that's a serious topic. When you start talking about, sexually violating, violating somebody's, private parts, that is a major accusation. And my problem is he gave consent to the oral copulation or whatever it was they did. Whatever they was engaged in, he consented to it, but his consent was under the pretense that it was a woman. So my question to you is that something that she should be charged with? Because she didn't tell him that she was a trans woman? Listen, y'all, they starting to get real ragged with it now. Everybody want to run everybody to court. Everybody want to sue people, and they want to do this and they want to do that. They want people put in jail, and it's a lot. It's a lot. And the sad part about it is that the LGBT community wanted so much in equal rights. They wanted to be equal across the board. Now they're becoming equal across the board, and they're being attacked just as viciously as regular civilians that are not within the community are. And I'm curious to know how they feel about that. I'm very curious to know. But our food, Y'all, you better start looking at the labels in the grocery store. You cannot pick up pork chops and think they pork chops. You better start looking at the label. You better start reading the ingredients. You better start educating yourself on really what's going on in the stores. There was this one guy that was working at a manufacturing company that kept saying, y'all keep taking y'all kids to McDonald's. Let me show y'all what them chicken sandwiches and them chicken nuggets is made out of, which, you know, we've seen videos before like that. We've seen them in the underground, right? In the boss cave. And he, you know, took the forklift up to the top of the machine that had all of the stuff in it. And it looked like white slop. It was just white gook just laying around. And that is what they make the chicken nuggets and the chicken out of. And to be honest with you, it looked a lot like what hot dogs look like. Because, you know, hot dogs is the rest of the pig. It's the snout, the feet, the tail, the butt. It's everything else that ain't got a name and a place in the pig. They take it and grind it up and put it in the hot dogs called the wieners. So it looked a lot like that. Very unsavory, I might add. Well, it is deception, but on the other, it should have been exposed before coming in. Oh my God, let me leave that sitting right there. That is the only problem that I have with the situations involving LGBTQ. I think that they have a responsibility and obligation to share with their partner or the person that they're about to be involved with that they are trans or that they're a part of the community. Really, you should tell somebody who you are, what you are at the beginning of the relationship, at the beginning of the conversation. So it's no bad blood. Because I'm going to tell you something. Some people, they can be so into your beauty that all of the other signs they don't even see, they don't hear, they don't witness, they don't recognize. And baby, some people lose their everlasting mind when they find out they've been hoodwinked. Now, this is for your safety. This is for your safety. Right, if you say BP. Okay, let me go back up and see what the BPA stand for. Oh, BPA is part of plastic. Okay, he said like BPA plastics is using US. Okay, so it's like plastic. Okay, gotcha. Hey, Rico. Yeah, I'm gonna just sue all you crispy Negroes. I stand with Kanye team. Gotta go. Yeah. You gotta tell these people what you are because it could really leave you in a bad situation. It could leave you in a bad place. Um, what they doing to Kanye, if you're seeing the videos as they come out now, the TikToks and the shorts and the reels, it's a lot of OGs, and I almost said Farrakhan, but the man name ain't Farrakhan. I can't think of what his name is now, but he looked like he might be every bit about 80 or 90 some years old. It was two of them came out speaking on Kanye's behalf. And I shouldn't say on his behalf, but they were having a conversation about Kanye and the rhetoric that he's run around with. And both of the men have both said that Kanye is exposing them in a manner that they can't handle. That is why they are trying to destroy him. There was even a video that came out that said that uh, who was the man? He was a man prominent in the Jewish community, and he came out and said that there are evil Jewish people in the world that feel some kind of way about blacks. So what Kanye said was not a lie. It was very much true. It was just offensive to those people that didn't want to acknowledge it or didn't want you to know it. Remember, censorship is real. And Kanye is using his platform to really put the information out there. Even though they're very upset with what he's putting out. They're very upset that some people are listening and paying attention. They don't want you guys to know. But the one thing that those men have acknowledged is the fact that the powers that be do not like what Kanye is out here telling people. And they plan to use that to destroy him. Now they say he no longer has billionaire status, that he's back in millionaire status, and ain't nothing wrong with being a millionaire. I would love to be a millionaire. I don't have to be a billionaire. I would love to be a millionaire. That's okay. you know, but hey, it's something. It's really something. And you know what? You can call Kanye crazy all you want, but I'm gonna tell you something. You better listen to what he's saying, because he's telling truth. It might not come out, you might not hear it the way you're accustomed to hear it, but hear me when I tell you, he telling the truth. They don't like it, and that's why they trying to break him down. And in my opinion, what would really be the straw that broke the camel's back, it would be his kids. If they tried to keep his kids away from him, that would push him over the edge. I tell you one even different. If something were to happen to one of his kids, that would send him over the edge. But let me tell you what would happen when he falls over the edge. When Kanye gets ready to go over the edge because something done happened to one of his kids or something, um, he's gonna lose it, and he gonna start telling some shit that it's gonna force them to do something, and that's when they're gonna. It's my opinion. That's when something bad will probably happen. Yeah, because if anything were to even slightly happen to one of his kids, he would take that as retaliation. I believe. Yeah, yeah, he'll go next. He gonna baby, and that's what one of the men said. Well, actually, that's what the white man said. I can't think of his name. He's a comedian. I want to call him Gary. He's a white man that's married to a black woman. I can't think of his name. It's Gary something, or it might be Michael Sussex or something. He said Kanye. He called Kanye a dumb genius. He told him, "Why don't you just name names?" I mean, these same OGs that's coming up speaking on Kanye's behalf came up speaking on Michael Jackson and the songs that he was writing. They don't give a care about us. That was one of the songs that they mentioned. It Michael was trying to tell them about they don't really care about us, and that it was some other stuff going on. Prince, same thing with Prince. And I mean, the people that they were speaking on, and I'm just saying this is so coincidental, but the celebrities that they were speaking on in terms of who was revealing information to the world happened to be all celebrities that are allegedly no longer walking among us. It was interesting to me. A lot of stuff stuck out to me. A lot of stuff. Now let me jump in the underground. I ain't been back there all day. I had actually had to turn some of my notifications off because they was too much. But hang on. Let me go to my save because I put a lot of stuff in save. Okay, so I know it's been a lot of talk about nuclear bombs and things, but I would just continue to pray to God. You know what I'm saying? I don't think a lot of stuff is going to happen like they claim it will be. But I did want to visit something, and I'm glad Boss King is here. We've talked about the CDC, which is the Centers for Disease and Control. I think it's called Centers for Disease and Control. Yeah, I think that's what CDC stands for. We know that their corporate headquarters is out of Georgia, somewhere in Georgia, right? But were you guys aware of who funds the different companies that fund the CDC? There are companies, 3M. 3M makes paper, right? Adobe, Aflac. AstraZeneca, that's pharmaceutical. ATT, AT&T, that's mobile. Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield, that's insurance. Bayer, that's aspirin. Bank of Commerce, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Biogen, Cargill, Cambridge University Press, Century 21, Charles Schwab, Cisco Systems, Citibank, Coca-Cola, Clorox, CNN, Time Warner, Costco, CVS. I could go on and on and on. These are companies and businesses that fund the CDC. I'll hold off on the rest of y'all. They spoke about Kid Rock. Kid Rock had a song back in the day that was talking about underage kids. They brought that up. I'm telling you. California. Now, Breitbart is a website that is definitely under a serious censorship type of situation. But they reported, this was back in 2020, September of 2020. California legislature reduces penalties for oral and anal entanglement with willing children. In September of 2020, do y'all remember back in 2020 when Harvey jumped up and had a bill passed to reduce situations for people in the pedo group, where they can live, and a lot of restrictions and stuff that were on there previously? We talked about that. We went to the Boss Cave and we looked it up and we saw that. This is just some stuff I sent to myself. Ex-Senator Nancy Schaefer, her husband Bruce, they were found unalive about a week or two ago. The Child Protective Services allegedly is who she was affiliated with. And the Child Protective Services is rumored to be the number one manner in which, children are moved around, if you will. I would love to say laundered. There are changes being made in Nevada legislatures. They remove government studies and replace with multicultural education. So you have to stay in tune with what's going on in schools. On my community wall, I put a board meeting up where the parents went down to the city hall, to the school district, and was talking about the books that they found in the children's library for the young children's. The books had animated children in them with no clothes on, giving each other oral entanglements. Giving each other oral sex. Children in the children book with no clothes on, in the children library, in the children section. So if you got small kids, your small children, it just seemed like the small children are being exposed to something that most parents don't want to have discussions with their small children about. We wait until our children get up to a certain age to where they can understand that type of conversation. Not young children who don't have a clue what the birds and the bees are, what titties are, what pine, wood, dinglebird, what none of that. We're not ready for that. And it seems like, I don't know, it seems almost like they're being groomed in the schools. So people, please pay attention. Pay attention to what's happening in the schools. Back in 2019, they talked about The former CEO of Clinton Foundation, Eric Braverman, he went missing allegedly back in 2019. They claim he was missing. They couldn't find him. No, they found him all right. Guess where he was at? Over there in the Ukraine. Mm-hmm. Devon Archer, one of Hunter's ex-business partners and director of Burisma, a Ukrainian gas company, was just sentenced in New York District Court to 1 year in jail plus 1 year parole and a $15 million forfeiture. Have y'all heard anybody talking about that? I'm sure you probably haven't, but I have to ask. Now, there was a list going around of people who mysteriously died after being associated with Bill and Hillary. Mm-hmm. Oh, the list says there are about 47 people on the list. James McDougal, for instance. Yes. James McDougal, for instance. He was a convicted Whitewater partner who died of an apparent heart attack while in solitary confinement. He was a key witness in Ken Starr's investigation. Mary Mahoney, a former White House intern who was murdered in July 1997 at Starbucks coffee shop in Georgetown. It happened just after she was to go public with her story of sexual harassment in the White House. Vince Foster, former White House counselor and colleague of Hillary at Little Rock's Rose Law Firm, died of multiple gunshot wounds to the head, but yet it was ruled a suicide, self-termination. You mean you'll actually be able to put multiple hot lead ping pongs in your cabeza? No. You get one hit a quarter. You get one time to fire. And if you hit, that's it. You don't. But hey, they said it was self termination. So okay. Ron Brown, Secretary of Commerce and former DNC chairman, reportedly died by impact in a plane crash. But the pathologist close to the investigation reported there was a hole in the top of his skull resembling a gunshot wound. At the time of his death, he was being investigated and spoke publicly of his willingness to cut a deal with prosecutors. The rest of the people on the plane also died a few days later after the traffic controller self-terminated himself. The traffic controller didn't know what was going on with the plane. So we're not gonna go through the whole list, but it's a list of 47 people who was friends with the Clintons, who allegedly is no longer amongst us. I wouldn't want to be friends or enemies with them. I'm just saying. I think I might have to take this video down, but we'll see. This is fair use. This commentary is protected under fair use. We're just talking about this list. We're just talking about this list. That's it. But yeah, the food, and it's funny now because it's like there's no food on the shelves. Everybody's reporting they're going to the stores and stuff, and the food is scarce. That's kind of crazy. You know what I'm saying? You know, you already giving us food from the hog trough. So now you're gonna take the hog trough away from us and do what? But hey, I'm just saying. Wow, King Boss King Anthony had a live the other day that I missed, and Boss King, I apologize to you publicly. I'm so sorry. That dang grocery store, you know how I am now when I'm shopping. And I had everything set and still missed the live. But let me tell you something. He had an awesome live talking about are we living in a demolition movie? You know, because if y'all saw Demolition Man, it was Blade, Sylvester Stallone, Sandra Bullock, and Wesley Snipes. I call him Blade, Lord. Wesley Snipes. But if y'all saw that movie, then you saw what happened in that movie. And that movie is very, very telling and very, very close to what we've gone through or what may be before us. Um, Not surprised that they was friends with Mr. Uh-huh. Exactly, Anthony. They was friends with Jeffrey too. But you know, they said Jeffrey is alive. We've seen pictures. They said JF Kennedy Jr. is alive. We done seen so-called pictures. They said Micah's moving amongst us in his mask, but I guess they couldn't find a mask to fit his nose. But we've seen the pictures and the videos. We've seen the pictures and the videos of Tupac. Like Tupac was one that was telling us about what goes on, behind the scenes. And now it's just, it's still slowly coming out. But it is unfortunate that these celebrities in the music industry continue to flash up the sign of who they rocking with. And the flashing of that sign is going to get them got. Thank you, Boss King. Thank you. But, man, that woman went to that store to steal something. And she went to the store with a gun, meaning that she was going to get out with their food one way or the other. Now, the people that was waiting on the food ain't got no food. They don't have her to go back to get them no food. The security officer, they family done lost their breadwinner. Let me tell you something. If somebody is hungry, I might not be quick to give you money. But if you hungry, I will buy you a sandwich. I'll buy you something to eat. Now, that's one thing I can't take is I don't ever want to see somebody be hungry. And kids, I'll give kids my last. I would literally take my plate and pass it over to them. Now, 9 times out of 10, they won't be able to eat it because I'm a soft fiend like that. But yeah, we're gonna feed the kids. We're not gonna let the kids go hungry. And it's unfortunate that they have these experiments out here, these social experiments, to see how people would act or react. To show y'all that most of those experiments, the people that are giving are doing bad themselves and asking for help. But those are the first ones to jump up and give. If somebody needs something, like the little boy on the street, homeless, don't have no shoes, socks and shoes on his feet, laying out there on the concrete on the ground cold, and the homeless man come through and take the jacket off his back to give to that little boy, asking him questions about how long you been out here, what's going on, trying to educate him and school him. But here's the deal. We see the videos of the successful stories where somebody came through and stopped and tried to help. But the reality of it is that most times, those people can be helping you all for their own selfish purposes. And I'm not saying that that's what happened. I'm just saying sometimes that's how certain things get started. Somebody stopping and thinking that you're at your wit's end, you're at the end of your rope. They're thinking that they can offer you just a lending hand, and you're so desperate and hard up that you will do anything. And it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. But yeah, that was so triggering to me to hear that woman turned around and fired on that security guard because he asked her about stealing. And that's another thing. You have to be careful what job you go into. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't want to put your life in danger protecting somebody else's property that's probably insured in the first place. The insurance is going to pay out anyway. It's not worth your life. Now, I don't think he got a chance to even get jiggy with it. I think if I remember Boss King saying, he might have called her name or something, or yelled out for her. And instead of her just keep walking and act like she don't see him, she turned around and lit him up. And he got one off on his way down. So a shootout over what? Some hot dogs and some bread, some tampons or something. Like, I don't even know what was in the bag that she had. But it's unfortunate. Yeah, yeah. And boss, I told you I felt like you was so blessed, because if you had been a few minutes earlier arriving at that store, you could have been right in the middle of that whole shootout, which would have been bad, because I think you play with your hot leg ping pong quite graciously. So it probably wouldn't have been a good thing. But God is good. God is good. Yeah. So yeah, it's a lot of stuff going on out here, and I'm watching. Tasha K did a video the other day, and she was telling people about some of her side hustles, and how she will go out and buy something, or pick up somebody's stuff that they got out on the street for free. They just want somebody to come pick it up, still in good condition. She was telling the people how she'll go out and pick it up and clean it up, and then put a price tag on it and turn around and resell it on Facebook, on the marketplace and whatnot. And there are people out here that will go to Marshalls and Ross and Nordstroms, and they get some of the you know the stuff that people are looking for the most. They will go out and they will buy those clothes for a little or nothing, and then mark them up and resell them on Amazon. So we as a society have to be aware of where a lot of this stuff is coming from. We got to do a lot better on our buying, and because it's a hustle. It's a hustle. Um, and I guess it's a legitimate hustle. When you went to the store and bought it for $10, you're gonna turn around and put it on the internet for $30 and make a profit off of it. It's a hustle. So if you can't get up and go to a job, but you need money, need to work, it's definitely something you should consider. 2 times in 1 week, God is definitely good. Baby, ain't he good, boss? Ain't he good? And your job is a very serious and a dangerous job. And so I pray for you all the time. I pray for everybody, but I ask God to keep an extra arm of protection, over you, given what you have to go through. Um, so yeah, it's just a lot. And then I saw a video tonight where they said that Nicki Minaj has decided she's gonna take a little time off, a hiatus. Now, if Nicki going on a hiatus, now let's just call a spade a spade. Y'all know the last time I seen that stomach, I questioned whether or not she was pregnant again, and she claimed she wasn't. Now, if she's going on hiatus, it make me feel like she is pregnant, and she want to keep everything on the low low with the second baby. I think she is pregnant again. She is not confirmed that, but I think she is. And if she's taking time off, I think she wants to hide it. And a hiatus would be the only way to do that. No, they go to the thrift shop. Actually, this one cousin texted me on the other side. Well, there's a man that I watch on YouTube. He goes to Ross, and he goes to the kids section, and he does price checks on the Nike outfits and different things that I guess are popular on the marketplace. And he goes and he's checks the price tag on them. And this last one that he checked, the price tag was $16, and he found it on Amazon for 35. So he bought all of the clothes, all of the different sizes and everything. Same color, everything. He didn't buy no different colors. He bought the same color, and he put it on Amazon. And he showed us how he made his profit. And there's one video on his channel where he showed us how he went and got the what do you call it, the price gun to stick the price on it and the labels and stuff. How he makes all of that. It was it was um and a lot of obviously a lot of people are doing it because I went on Amazon to look up some of that stuff, and I actually have some stuff that I feel like I can put on there because I'm just holding it. I don't know why or for what, but it's some stuff that I feel like I like. Some of these phones I got, I'm just gonna reset them to default and then put them up for sale. I have phones. I have all types of accessories. Um, it's just all kinds of stuff. And whenever you're buying clothes from the internet, you should always wash them before you wear them. I hope y'all know that. Please teach your kids that. Yes. And going to the thrift store gives you a bigger return on your investment. Because if you go to the thrift store, you ain't gonna buy. If you spend $5, that'll be the maximum. Maybe $10 is the max that you would spend at a thrift store. You could go in the thrift store and find some Nikes, and I've seen there's a Latino man. He's heavy set. He goes to the thrift store and he buys the name brand tennis shoes, and then he take them home and he clean them up and he put new shoestrings in them and everything, and he resells them. And he may go and spend $15 at the thrift store. When he get to cleaning them up, putting new strings in them and doing everything what he do, he'll turn around and sell them for $60 or $70. And I mean, hey, you can't knock it. You can't knock a person for getting their hustle on. You knock a person for sitting on their ass, not doing shit, not having no income coming in. But somebody that's out here with their hustle going on, you can't knock them for that. You cannot knock them for that. Yeah. So listen, I'm gonna get off here and let y'all go. Thank y'all for stopping by. I know y'all got a lot going on, honey, in the sector. I put a video up for the bosses on the community wall. It was all of 2 or 3 minutes, but I'm gonna try to start, giving you a little bit more as time go on. Tomorrow is Monday. I'll be back at work, so this will be a really busy week for me. But listen, thank y'all for coming. Please thumbs up the video on your way out. Y'all take care, and I'll catch y'all on the flip side.